Joined here by Andy Dunne, who's about to die of hypothermia, so I'm going to let you off. First of all, France. Was it that they were really bad today, or Ireland just really good?
No, I think in the first half we were very clinical, very physically demanding of that French defence. They made 127 tackles in that first half. So we squeezed the life out of them, and I think we very much deserved to go with that strong lead, and I think we deserved the result by a distance overall. I think that the scoreline flatters France very much by the end.
Those two tries that France got right by the end, was that because that at this point the Irish team had checked out, or was it because the strongest 15 weren't on the field anymore due to replacements?
I think there was an element of new combination. Certainly the first try that France scored 4 minutes from time looked very much like a system breakdown in our defence. Nobody laid a finger on a French player, and it wasn't that the French deconstructed us, for example. So looked like a systematic error, new combinations in midfield. And I think the last one was, I suppose the French just throwing 12 guys into a maul with nothing to lose in the 81st minute. So I wouldn't be unduly concerned by either tries later on. I don't even see it as a slip up in terms of concentration.
I get the feeling though Joe Schmidt won't be happy about them, because he likes to be organised.
Yeah, I would have thought he'll put up the guys, and correctly. They're international players, and those at fault will certainly get name checked, I would have thought, in his video sessions. But in reality it was a facile 26-0 win up until the 77th minute, with no danger of the French coming back. So he'll surely be a lot more pleased than he was after the Rome game.
We were on Off the Ball AM on Friday morning. We had Ronan O'Gara on, and he predicted a 17-point win, and Alan Quinlan was very sceptical. Obviously I was. People would say, what the hell would she know about rugby, and rightfully so. I said it to you today as well, and you gave a little smile as well. You weren't expecting it either.
No, I figured we would win today, potentially winning tight and ugly by 5 to 6 points. But what does Raj know, No, he was spot on. A 16-point spread he spoke about, I think, not far off today. He's probably the most disappointed man of all with those last French scores. But it does suggest there's something very, very wrong going on in French rugby at the moment. They're a bit of a sad mess. They're opting to take lineouts and penalties to touch with 10 minutes to go and not even getting one of their own jumpers in the air. Real signs of being a badly coordinated, badly coached team. And for the level of talent and ability they have across the players in the top 14, it's certainly not translating to the national side.
We often talk about the French, and it's probably a stereotype that you never know what French team is going to arrive. They're going to be great, all-powering, take over completely, or they'll have a collapse like they did today. Is that endemic and cultural in France, or is it due to just something as simple as lack of organisation and poor coaching?
Right now it seems like there's a lack of organisation and poor coaching, and unfortunately the old cliche and stereotype is beginning to dwindle. I think we're starting to expect what French side is going to turn up. It's going to be more often than not a very underwhelming French side who are not able to perform at the standards required to be competitive at international level. They occasionally buck that trend with the one-off good performance, but it's far from good enough for a country of their rugby tradition.
We often hear games finished, coaches say turn the page, move on to the next one. Ireland now get to go to Wales next week, and albeit it's small, but the chance is still there.
Yeah, I fancy us to turn over Wales next week. Unfortunately, I think it's probably going to be just a game too late. I think England will beat Scotland and probably deservedly crowned as Six Nations champions. I think they've been the best side in the tournament. They've shown the most variation in their attack. They've got a scary amount of strength and depth and physicality. And I think we'll deservedly be crowned Six Nations champions. Nonetheless, I think Ireland are going to go and cause a shock and beat Wales going for their Grand Slam.
What are they going to be working on between now and next week? Because obviously there's always things to work on, and performance is never perfect, and the way they let in those two French tries at the end in particular would be a concern.
To a degree, I think they'll probably work on their exit strategies again. There was a lot of variation, and I would applaud it. Significant changes in that approach today. We didn't overuse Conor Murray as we have done in previous weeks. We used very early on Ringrose and Larmour, for example, to get out of our own territory. So something like that going into the Welsh game again would be a small change in our structure, but I'm sure there were one or two plays that we looked like we had designed just for the French today that didn't quite come off. I'm sure Joe and Richie Murphy, the attack coach, will have a couple of new ones up their sleeve for Cardiff.
Finally, I can't let you go. Anyone watching this is going to be asking you about your Hatha bubbling.
Tell us,
who are you wearing?
I don't know the brand name. I think it's Winter Cherry is the colour. I'm going to stick with that. I chose it to match your scarf, Máire Treasa, so I think we look well together.
I don't think it's a bad mix.
Not bad. Maybe a fashion piece together. Who knows?
Expose, we're here. Thank you very much for your time.